Now, if I'd have been on the ball and not been pissed, then what I would have done then, I would have then taken the footage from Elysium yesterday when the final whistle went and everybody went absolutely bonkers. It was tremendous. I've got loads and loads of video footage. I will get it onto the channel and social media and stuff like that as soon as I'm back in the land of the living with you. So 2-1 win awaits at Newcastle. Dino, team lineup. You saw the team. Oh, by the way, Terry's 5 minutes away. You saw the team lineup. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I was nervous about it, but let's be fair. I mean, you see Ballard's not in there. You see 09 at centre back. You're already thinking, poor. And then you're seeing Elgas in goal and not Robin Roofs. The midfield obviously picked itself. Really, that's a strong midfield. That would be our normal midfield. And then you had Chris Rigg push out onto the right. Robbie up front, which I was hoping anyway, and Talby on the left, which isn't a bad shout anyway. But you're just seeing 09 and you're seeing, is it Elberg or, because I always get his name.
Elborg,
not Elborg. And you kind of just get a little bit, because we don't really know what Elberg's capable of. Elborg, we don't know what he's capable of, really. He's still new. He's not Robin Roofs with his feet, is he really? And he does give you some shaky moments, and obviously we know what 09 can be capable of, as you've seen with the mistake at the very, very start. But yeah, I wasn't too confident when I seen the starting lineup, I must admit.
You know what? And I might be a bit of a twat, and I might be just not organised at all, but great reply, Dino, whatever you said. Gary P, you saw the lineup yesterday. What did you think?
I was all doom and gloom. That was it. We were done. We might as well not turned up. We had no Roofs. Who else were we missing? Mukele, Ronaldo, Lafay, Ballard. We must have had eight out who would normally be there or thereabouts. So as far as I was concerned, it was game over at that point. We were knackered. But what I'd also said is that if we were going to get anything, it would be because we had a stronger midfield than then. Because obviously they're without Tonali in particular. And I think, to me, that proved to be right. We won it in midfield in the end. But yeah, I was panicking like mad. But they came good, didn't they?
Right, okay. Before I go to my response on that, we want to quickly go to the chat. Jim Buck says, evening all. Where's negative Nelly Jacob? Should come on and apologise, apparently. It says... also on here, Dave Common, which is Dave the Riv. Dave the Riv, I want to say, where were you yesterday in Elysium? We wanted to have a dance off and he didn't turn up. Never mind. Good win for Sunderland last night against Newcastle. Mackham Cabby, evening all. Good evening to the Mackham Cabby. Peter Coles says, for fuck's sake, Dino, smile.
Didn't say for fuck's sake, he said FFS. Get it right.
Oh, whatever that means. FF. I know I'll have to apologise for my language tonight because I've got no filter, really, to be honest. Johnny Cool out, 8 players out. Yes, to be honest. Newcastle 1, Sunderland Reserves 2.
Oh, wait there. No. It's Visitors 1, Sunderland Reserves 2.
But
we don't name them.
Did you see the tweet or the from was it that Geordie Josh or something yesterday?
Oh, fuck him.
Where before the game he put on, my first team, they're injured. All these excuses that we'd been saying, well, don't worry, you're going to end up crying when we send you back to Sun and win out or something. So that aged very poorly, actually.
To be fair, a lot of Newcastle fans say stupid things. That's why they get the stick they do, because they're very deluded by fan base. They think they're bigger than what they are, and they can't even beat the rivals. Once, a newly promoted team only spent over 100 million. Them have spent that amount of money on 2 players. They've got Champions League. They're going to win the Carabao Cup. It was an easy 6 points. Sometimes it's just better to just shut the fuck up, isn't it, really? Let's be fair. Just shut up.
Dino, I couldn't agree with you more. And listen, I know we got the overlay and it says the Sunday Bunch, but this is the Sunday Bunch. It's just one on Monday. I agree with you totally, Dino. We were 10 minutes in and I got a tweet off one of my magmates and said, your keeper's shite. And that's what he said. And I just, at the end of the game, I just replied, yeah, I'll keep it straight. You know what I mean? You think, why would you? I would never do that. And
I know. It's them, man. They're a very deluded bunch. Not all of them, don't get us wrong, because I've got mates who aren't that deluded, but a lot of them are very, very deluded. And it's a big kickback down to reality and just realise you're just as tin pot as you've always been. You've got in Champions League twice in 3 seasons. Doesn't make you a big club. You're mid-table, you're below us. I mean, when they first got above were that one time, all of them were shouting, oh, mind the gap, mind the gap. First time in about 20-odd games. You know, just so tin pot. And let's be fair, they really, really are sometimes.
Right. All right. Listen, just very quick. I'll come to you just now, Terry. All right. In fact, I tell you what,
I'll
ring you, Terry. I've got to answer my phone. I'll come to you, right? But listen, Terry, the team lineup yesterday, what did you think?
Yeah, I was very surprised. I was expecting to see, for some bizarre reason, Roofs playing, Ronaldo playing, possibly Mukiele and Lafay playing. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm probably a bit naive on my own half there. So when I saw the lineup, I was a little bit taken back, thinking, oh God. I was the same against Leeds though. When I saw the lineup against Leeds, I thought we're going to struggle here, and they surprised us. And like I said in the preview days before, I thought, you know, I'm not really confident with this match, but it tends to be the games that I don't feel confident. I get massive surprises with Sunderland. It's always games you expect to win where we don't. So to be fair, yeah, with the lineup, I mean, I saw the lineup, I was like, oh, I was a bit worried. Don't get me wrong, but I was hoping, you know, the likes of the new keeper in 09 could perform on the night, on the day, on the morning, afternoon, whenever it was, last week, this week, yesterday. Can't even remember it was that good. Were you still surprised?
There was various rumours, wasn't there?
Hey?
Sorry, there was various rumours, wasn't there, about who was available and who wouldn't be available. And it was Reggie Labrie playing mind games with them, but no, they were genuinely injured.
Do you three think that those 3 players are only on the bench because we didn't have anybody else, and they will only be used, you know, apart from Lafay and like very late on, they would only be used earlier than that if we had an injury to a player on the pitch?
Yeah, I think it was desperation almost.
Yeah.
I mean Enzo come on with what, like 5 minutes left? Maybe someone was blown, maybe someone might have had a little injury. I mean, I think it was Diarra who came off, but what a substitution that was, because it was his pass. And let's be fair, that was a cracking pass. No, everyone gives the congratulations to Bobby, but that pass, he made the run. I think he puts it through Hall's legs and Dan Burn legs to find Bobby. I mean, that's a wicked pass. Not every player can do that.
Isn't it? Double nutmeg, absolutely amazing.
Well, yeah, to be honest, when we were talking about the team and that, and when we saw it, I was on stage yesterday, and as you know, Gary, I was having problems getting the internet because we were supposed to be ringing the Strawberry and Shearer's Bar and all that, and it didn't happen because of the poor internet. So again, apologies for that. But then also, I didn't realise. I thought I'll bring the team up and then I can read the team out to everybody in the club. But of course, because they had poor signal, I couldn't get that up. So I then had to ask somebody in the crowd if you got the team on your phone. So when I'd got it and I read the team out, all I actually saw initially was that I was under the impression Roofs was going to be in goal. So when I saw Elborg was in goal, I immediately thought, oh, like shit, you know. And I then read the rest of the team out to the club, and I didn't even realise that Ballard wasn't in. You know, and I just read it, and it was only when the game kicked off, and I thought, this is not good, really. And again, the jury's out with Elborg for me, and so getting onto that.
That's harsh. Oh, that's a very high pressure game to come into. Yeah, he's not.
No, Dino, man, Dino. Elborg's not been good for the games he's played.
I disagree. I think the first game he played, he kept a clean sheet, and I'm sure he made 2 good saves.
Dino, you can't tell me that Elborg gets the ball at the back and you shit yourself because
he's not good with his feet yet. Not all keepers are good with getting a cracker with Robin Roos being good with his feet. Most Premier League keepers in this league are not very good with their feet. Donnarumma, prime example, great shot stopper, terrible with his feet. So you've got to tell what Elborg is. He's a good shot stopper. Not very commanding, don't get us wrong. But again, he's a young keeper. He's 4th, 5th game.
The only thing I'll say in his favour is the fact that because we had Robin Roofs all season, and Robin Roofs has been absolutely brilliant, right? Maybe Elborg's not a bad keeper, but because we've been used to the standard of Roofs, seeing Elborg makes him look maybe worse than he actually is. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I shit myself when he gets the ball at the back. I shit myself, and that's how it is now. He got the ball and he should have really kicked the ball out, but he gives it to Luke O'Nien, and Luke O'Nien then makes that error, which then leads to the goal. And at half time in the club, I went to the VIP and there was one man on his own sat in there, and it turned out to be Gary. Was sat in there all on his own,
Well,
this
wasn't it?
Yeah, and we had a conversation, and Gary said to me, he said, "You know what?" He said, "Luke O'Nien is not going to recover from that. That is a bad mistake, and it's against the Mags, and he ain't going to recover." And I sort of got what you were saying. However, at full time, I thought, I don't give a shit about Luke O'Nien making that up. So,
Phil, that's why I don't bet on football. I know fuck all.
Gary, so Luke O'Nien's howler. Your thoughts on it?
Well, I know what people would say. Watch it. Who weren't involved. They'll say, yeah, he should have got rid of it. Should have done this, that, and the other. But that's how we play, isn't it? We try and play out the back. And whether people think it's trendy or it's come from Pep or whatever, it's what we do. And they've done their homework. What O'Nien was trying to do was pass it to Xhaka, which was a stupid thing to do because whoever was on him was properly on him. And I'm not even sure, because Xhaka was pointing, I'm not even sure Xhaka wanted it at that point. So it was a stupid thing to do, bad decision. But obviously O'Nien was trying to, shall I say, follow orders and trying to play it out. And I think he panicked in his decision-making, because he probably should have launched it, having seen Xhaka had somebody on him. But it was an utter disaster at the time. And because they were all over us first half, or certainly the better team in the first half, I thought, that's it. We will lose this game and it'll all come back on O'Nien. And I'm pleased for him, to be honest, that what happened second half, because it'll just be forgotten about for now. But he does give me some nervous moments, does Luke.
Right, okay. Just very quickly, let's get into the chat before I pass this round. Changing Crisis says Le Fay is the only player with that touch of class at the club. Our very own Emma says she saw the team and she thought we're screwed. Johnny Cool, Elborg is a young lad, give him some slack. Then the Coffee Goblin says harsh on Elborg. He's still a bairn. If we didn't have Roofs, we would think he's class, which is basically what I was trying to say. We probably are maybe being more harsh on him because of the standard we've been used to. Jim Buck, Philly Elborg will make you eat your words in the recruitment we trust. I hope, Jim Buck, I hope you're right. Absolutely, of course I do. Terry, Luke O'Nien's howler, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, if Roofs was in goal and Ballard was in defence, that would probably come, it'd probably be a good little move. But Elborg looks a bit like fish out of water at the moment. He's very inexperienced. He was brought in, really, I think, to let Patterson go on loan to get experience for Patterson, some first game football for Patterson. I think Elborg was never meant to start this season. Everybody thought Roofs would play the full season, not getting an injury. So Elborg, for me, it was someone to bring in and improve with the likes of the coaches, Regis Labrousse and Roofs, and improve for the season or the season after for when Roofs leaves, so he would take over. So he's a working order. He'll get better as the season. He'll get better as next season, the season after comes on. Yes, he's young, but he isn't that young. He's still 22, but he's young in game time, young and experienced, young at minutes in the pitch at the high level as this. So I think, yes, he makes me nervous, no doubt about it, because we've been used to having Robin Roofs in there. But I think he'll be a good player in there somewhere. But I think next season, the season after, we'll see the best of Elborg. Now, Luke O'Nien, I think he slightly slips as he goes to kick the ball, stumbles a little bit. Now, whether he was trying to kick it long, now if he was meant to kick it long and that's the instructions, I don't quite understand the reasoning behind that, because the keeper can do that. So I don't understand why making it a little bit more difficult doing that. Now, if it was a pass to Xhaka, then obviously with him slipping and Xhaka maybe he's not being in the right place, it wasn't really didn't pay off at all. But yeah, I mean, let's face it, Luke O'Nine's either brilliant or he's a liability, and that's what you get with him. And we all know that. And to come from League Two up to the Premier League, he's been absolutely fantastic to do what he's done. We know he's Mr. Sunderland. He loves the club. He's through and through. For me, at some point in the future, I'd love to see him at the club in some capacity, whether it's a bit of a coaching role or more motivational speaker or just something just to gear the lads up, you know, because he's part of the furniture now, and I think he's a class player to be there. He's a gentleman and a scholar. I think he's a wonderful person, but he has that in him. Now, whether or not he can recover from that, yesterday he did. With it help with Xhaka, he pulled his socks up, and the second half performance, he made some absolutely valuable clearances. And for me, he made up for it. And in his post-match interview, he apologised. And that shows the class of a human being when you can admit your mistakes. He apologised to the fans, he apologised to the team, and he knew his error, and he made up for it. For me, that's special.
Right, okay,
Sorry.
just very
Sorry, just a quick one, Phil.
Well,
What he said afterwards as well, he said the leaders in the team helped him through. So there was no accusations, obviously, nobody having a go at him, and nobody having a go at him at the time. We know he's got a great attitude, but it makes me wonder whether it took other people to just steady him before the second half. But whatever they did, it worked.
That just shows great sort of teamwork, doesn't it? Team camaraderie. It just shows a real togetherness to be in it together till the end and really work for each other. That just shows absolutely fantastic attitude.
Yeah, all right. Just very quickly on the chat, Pixel Rich says, Luke O'Nien more than made up for his error and had a great game. Black Cat's chat, which is our very own Lee over in Spain. Elbow struggles to get the ball out of his feet, and I think he has more time. He thinks he has more time than he really has. He did make a good second half, though, which went right in front of him and could have been awkward. Coffee Goblin, Luke was in tears at full time. Last Farmers Matters. Malcolm Elborg only made his first team debut in May last year. Taffy Mackham says, I do. I think, Taffy Mackham, you mean, yes, I do, if I'm relating it to what I think you are. And Dino, Luke O'Nien's howler.
I mean, it wasn't great, was it? I mean, don't get us wrong. We've clearly been told to play out from the back like that because we've done it in previous games. We kept doing it after the mistake as well, so we kept doing it. I agree with Terry. I don't know why, because you're passing it 4 yards and then we're hoofing it up the pitch anyway. So cut out the middleman and just hoof it up. Do you know what I mean? We're getting pressed very highly. It was just, I don't understand it. If it doesn't seem to work very well when you get pressed. And unfortunately for Luke O'Nien, he made that mistake. But we need to remember, he's not left-footed. That's his weak foot. So I don't believe he went to pass it to Xhaka. I believe he went to absolutely toss it up the pitch. But obviously, because it's not his strong foot. He is strong with his left foot, but it's not his preferred foot. He's just totally miskicked it. And obviously, they've scored from it. But you've got to remember as well, Alderete has made loads of mistakes at the time as well when he's played forward, trying to pass out from the back, giving the ball away in slightly position. But it never cost you. But to cost you in a derby where that goal could have probably been the winning goal, as I didn't think we would score after that. And I was thinking, oh, that's going to kill Luke O'Nien. Everyone's going to absolutely slate him. Which, I mean...
Like Gary did. Like Gary did at half-time.
Yeah, but, you know, players make mistakes. And the thing about Luke O'Nien, he works on the mental game a lot. He's spoke about it, how he does classes. He says a lot of it's mentality, about mental. Because I think back in League One, that would have absolutely broke him. And it didn't. And he said he lent on Granit Xhaka out of our leaders. And let's be fair, Luke O'Nien is a leader as well. And the second half, he did put a few little mistakes in where one time it bounced on the edge of the box and he headed it. Looked like he tried to head it to Xhaka and he headed straight to a Newcastle player. He still had his rocky moments. You know you're going to get that with Luke O'Nien, but other than that, he made some amazing clearances. There was a ball when it came into the box and he knocked it away from, I think it might have been one of their midfield. I think it might have been Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes fouls him in the back, gets a free kick. Other than that, he was kind of faultless, and we know what we're going to get. Luke O'Nien, he's a good utility player. He's been out on the right, he's been out on the left, centre-back. And I think we just need to give him his due. I mean, don't forget he was part of the team that got beat by Newcastle 3-0 at the Stadium of Light when we played them in the FA Cup. And it's like a full circle moment that he beats them at home and then he beats them away at St. James's Park 2-1, and it was his mistake what led to the goal, and we still ended up coming out on top. So for me, he's got an elite mentality, and I love the bloke. I really do. I think he's Sunderland through and through, and I think he's always useful in some kind of scenario.
Right, okay. I get what you're saying, and he is Mr. Sunderland without a doubt. However, I do have to hold my hands up because when I did read the team out on stage yesterday, and I said, Luke O'Nien, and I said, there's a guaranteed sending off for you. Because
I've gone down for a yellow card, and he didn't even get a yellow card.
Yeah, no, for me, it had the potential of him playing in the derby game. Had a sending off written all over it.
Well, can we get rid of this now? Because everyone says when Luke O'Nien comes on, VAR is going to get him. VAR haven't getting him once. Bear in mind, he did get away with it one time the last game we played, I think.
Well, Leeds away.
That's one time. But don't forget, he's had minutes. There was nothing there in the Newcastle game where you think, God, he got lucky there. Not really. Can we get rid of this? That Luke O'Nien, oh my God, he's going to grab someone. He's going to do something stupid. He makes mistakes like every other player. Every other player makes mistakes in a pitch.
Do you know what gets me?
I just think he just gets it a lot more because he's been with her since the League One days. I think we need to cut him some slack. It's about time we cut him some slack now.
All right, Dino, it's your opinion. You're entitled to your own opinion. Of course, and Terry, you won then?
Yeah, I think he's a lad that's capable of making mistakes, but he's also capable of learning from his mistakes. I think he's improved throughout the whole of the seasons. I think he's improved again. He's known he's had to change his game, improve. I think he hasn't been, as in, like, looking as if he's going to get sent off this season, like Dino says. I think he's stepped up again, but he has that massive error in him. So when I say a liability, I mean a massive error. So he's either very good or there's a massive mistake in him. He's never going to be the first choice in the team. He's down the pecking order, but he's a good stand-in when you needed it. And I was nervous every time I've seen him on the team sheet. I've been nervous, but so far so good. Apart from that one mistake, which the second half he made up for me. The team made up for it. I think he's been great this season so far.
All right, just very quickly, let's go to the chat. Lee in Spain, I'll come to you just now, Dino. Lee in Spain says the replay from behind the goal shows what O'Nien was trying to do. He was trying to lift the ball over to Xhaka to reach Brobbey. He slips and he kicks it and doesn't get a lift on the ball. Recovered well, apparently, down there. Coffee Goblin, what's the matter with your tongue, Terry? Taffy Macamar, I don't want to work. I just want to watch Sunderland win all day. It must be some sort of song. I haven't got a clue who sings it or whatever, but it must be some sort of song. Malcolm Cabby says, I'm amazed that hundreds of Sunderland fans were walking right through the mags yesterday, not a copper in sight. Recipe for disaster sort of thing. He's saying there. Just very quickly, Tony Huntington says that Dino is spot on. There you go, Dino. You got a fan down there. Ban Dallard says Chris Rig was phenomenal yesterday. So we'll get back to the chat in a sec. Dino, was you one then?
Yeah, the thing is as well, like, you've got to remember as well, right? Say we signed John Lasumi as well. It's good to have Luke O'Nien in the squad for the simple fact he's not going to stir the dressing room up because he's not getting game time. I could imagine if you signed another centre-back who wants to be playing all the time and it can stir up the dressing room a little bit. Luke O'Nien won't do that. So that's why it's good to have Luke O'Nien in the squad, because he's good to fill in. He'll play anywhere. Let's be fair, there's not many players who've went from centre midfield to centre back and made it their own. Do you know what I mean? And he's a very useful player. If you brought in two other centre backs who want to be playing games all the time, it could literally stir the pot with other teammates, that because they're getting picked ahead of them, stuff like that. So it's good to have someone like a Luke O'Nien because he's not going to stir the nest. He knows what he is, he knows what he can do, and when he gets in, he makes full use of it.
Terry?
I may be wrong, but didn't Luke O'Nien play left back against Everton in the FA Cup, then right back against Leeds, and now he played centre back? Is that correct?
I believe so.
Well, Luke O'Nien can play anywhere anyway, can't he? So
definitely across the back, yeah. He's definitely played left back for us.
But do you see what I mean? Like, he's not going to stir the pot he's a good player to have in your squad because he'll fit in anywhere and he won't argue, he won't cry about. He just gets on with it. Because let's be fair, he's living a dream right now, isn't he? Let's be fair, because everyone said he wasn't good enough in League One, not good enough for the Championship. Or if he starts in the Championship, we'll never be able to get promoted with someone with Luke O'Nien. And he just proves everyone wrong. He's not Premier League standard. Every time he started, he's played class. Starts against Leeds, mint. Yes.
Do you fancy Luke O'Nien?
No, I just don't get. I don't understand the stick. I really don't. Not anymore. I don't.
Okay, fair
He's
enough.
got a good head of hair like I did when I was younger.
Look, listen, we got about 40 likes. Listen, we got 150 people on the stream at the moment. All right, we got 40 likes. Why? We need to try and hit 100 because what we try and do on a Sunday is get to 100. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and get to 100 on a Monday. So 60 of you, all you need to do, hit the thumbs up, give us a like. We love you forever. If you're watching the channel and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do so. And I do apologize. I'm still hungover. I'm still a little bit pissed, to be honest. But it doesn't matter. It's all more fun. Right, lads. Were we really not that good first half? Because me personally, I didn't think we was that bad. We'd given the goal away, and I know we'd had a couple of hairy moments and that where they could have doubled the lead and that, but I didn't think we were that bad, right? And we'll add to that. Were we fortunate to be going in 1-0 at half time? Gary?
Yeah, I think we were fortunate. It was only 1-0. I thought they were certainly having a go at us down the wings. We couldn't really keep the ball in midfield. I think we had a spell, didn't we? We had a good spell. Talby cut in and had a deep, very good shot. Great save from Ramsdale. So we definitely had a spell, and I think once we got on the ball and started using each other around that central area, we started to look dangerous. But even in the first half, Robbie was showing he was quite prepared to take their defenders on and make them look fools. So there was a bit of hope going in the second half, but yeah, I don't want to give them too much credit, but there was a couple of dicey moments, and that's why at half time I thought we're done here, because I just couldn't see us getting back into it.
All right, okay. Very quickly, let's nip to the chat down here because SJ3000 says, will Spurs sack their manager before we play them? Hopefully not. And that Dean or Emma says first 35 minutes for her, they were the better team apparently. Dino, were we really not very good first half, and were we fortunate to be going in only 1-0 down at half time?
I would say we were very fortunate because they hit the post. I mean, another time that might have went in, obviously Elanga had his head out at the back post where it just went over the bar the first couple of minutes. So then we're having some dangerous chances, and it didn't help when Elbow got the ball at his feet. I'm sure there was one time where a defender closed him. I think Gordon closed him down, and he did get back into the box and pick the ball up, but that was a hairy moment as well. And the only shot we really had was the Talby shot where, I mean, it was a great shot, don't get us wrong. If that went in, it would have been great, but I think that was the only really menacing attack we really had. But you could see we had certain spells of possession where we were cutting through their midfield. I thought Brian Brobby was immense. He really was. I think that was the most touches of the ball I've seen him have in a Sunderland shirt. It felt like we were playing to Brobby, not asking him to run. We're playing it to his feet, and he was trying to boss the defenders. And that whole change, that change when Botman got injured, and I think that's when the game changed for us, when Botman got injured. But the first half, I think we were very lucky to go in with just 1-0.
To be honest, I think this is another classic example of how many times on this channel do I say I watch the same match as everybody else. However, I always come out with a different sort of verdict.
Because you're Mr. Positive. You're Mr. Positive. You see the positive in everything. I
really didn't think we were that bad first half. Yes, we'd given the goal away. Yes, we rode our luck when they hit the bar and whatever. But I just didn't think we were that bad. I certainly didn't think we were out of the game. Having said that, had they got a second, then I think it would have changed the game at halftime and made it a lot harder for us to come back. Just very quickly on the chat down here, Ban Dallard says he agrees. Gertruda backed off way too much first half. Stephen Hensel, friend of the show, says, Gary, this is for you. Did you ever get on the West Yorkshire branch in the early 2001 when you was
Yes,
only?
I did. Yeah, I went to a couple of meetings with them. Yeah, and don't think I ever travelled with a couple of them. So yeah, that was me. I was there and thereabouts.
2000. You'll have only been 40 back in 2001 as well, weren't you?
A lot of Green Idols in those days. So.
Yeah. Oh, they were the days. Lee in Spain says, cagey first half from both teams. Nothing really in it. Both teams rode their luck. Second half, we were much more positive going forward. Ian Wilkins says there's Rig not supporting Gertruda in the first half. And Coffee Goblin says, did you see Gordon's quotes? He still thinks bless you, he still thinks they are a better side despite us beating them twice and being ahead of them. Right, friend Terry.
He's absolutely deluded.
Terry.
Delusional. He's delusional.
Terry, tell me you agree with me that we weren't actually that bad first half. However, were we fortunate to be going in only 1-0 down at halftime?
Believe it or not, Phil, I completely agree with you.
What?
Yeah, I didn't think we're that bad. I thought they had the better chances. I thought the only time Alderete was beaten the whole game was when Botman had the header against the post. I think that was Alderete. Apart from the header against the post and Alanga's over the top, they didn't really. I thought they were really poor. I thought the whole game, I was expecting more from Newcastle. I was expecting a lot more ferocity, a lot more tempo, a lot more in your face, high press. And I just didn't see that. And I thought their midfield was weak as piss, to be fair. And I'm so pleased they were missing Tonali and missing Bruno, because I just thought they were really poor. I was hoping that we could get through at half time just one down, because the fact is, I think I always knew we would come out better in the second half and we'd have a good chance of getting back into the game. I think Dino wants in.
Yeah, Dino wants in.
Just a couple of stats on the first half for you. So shots on target, they had 2 to our 1, but don't forget 1 hit the post, so that counts as a shot off target. 5 shots off target for them, 3 for us. Possession 62 for them, 38 for us. I know possession doesn't win you games, but corner kicks 5 to them, 1 to us. So for me, the first half was more them than us. They didn't really, but the second half we had 6 shots on target to their 2. So it just shows the second half.
The thing is, Dino, the only stat that counts is visitors 1, Newcastle, Sunderland reserves 2, and that's only stat. It's the only stat that matters. It doesn't matter about anything in between. They can have the ball 95% of the time, and us 5. The only stat that counts is ours. Terry?
Yeah, apart from the head against the post, I thought their corners were just a waste of time. I thought we defended the corners really well. I thought they were poor with the ball. I thought, we're going to expect to be under the cosh a little bit because they're at home. So I expected a bit of pressure at some point in the first half. But I thought we dealt with it reasonably well for the majority of the first half. So to go in at 1-0 down, we gifted them a goal. Literally gifted them the opportunity to score that goal. And that was it. So I always thought the second half we would come out and put up more of a fight. So I was, even though Gary apparently says he thought we were beat, I still felt as if inside that we had a good chance of getting back into the game.
Gary?
Yeah, just a quick one. What you're absolutely right about, Terry, is the way we dealt with the set pieces in the first half. Because I did think we were absolutely excellent in dealing with them, and like say Alderete in particular. And to be fair, the keeper didn't do, Elbow didn't do too bad either. So I think the stat on Sky was something like they're the 3rd highest this season in terms of scoring from set pieces. So we were clearly organised and ready for that, and that's probably what kept us in the game.
And they also one of the worst for letting late goals in and really get against Barcelona. They struggled and they ran out of energy. So there was always that they were going to run out of energy second half, simple as.
Well, that's what Eddie Howe said, isn't it?
Well, one of the stats what came up was Sunderland are the 3rd highest for taking points from losing positions, and Newcastle were top of losing points from winning positions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Spot
mean
on.
that Barcelona. I mean, what a week Newcastle have had. I mean, glorious. Just
So
make
which
sure.
Couldn't
one
have done any better. Let's face it, it was
win?
just the
No?
ideal, perfect scenario the whole week.
Listen, the back to the chat. Ban Dallard says good enough to beat them twice, though. Gordon looks like Gail Platt. Anyways, he says down there. Where we at? Also Ban Dallard thoughts on their T4. Again, for me, anything Newcastle do, I always try and rip the piss out of them. But if I'm being honest, their T4 wasn't actually that bad, really. It's but
Good.
not as good as ours.
Well, it just probably does haven't it, really. Let's face it.
oh,
It's just
absolutely.
different
Macam
regions,
Cabby
so, I
says,
mean,
mustache, my liver and onion pizza has arrived. Great show. Like, liver and onion? Oh, wait, man. What decade are you living in? Who wanted to be in there? Sorry, Gary?
Yeah, it was just me. Just on the T4 thing. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that thing they had in the Gallagher, welcome to the region's capital or whatever. Well, what's that all about? I mean, how desperate is that?
You need to fucking grow up. That's what they need to do.
Well, it's got nothing to do with football, is it? What's that got to do with it? It's just nonsense.
Basically, what they were saying is that they're the top dogs in the northeast. That's what they were saying. We're the top dogs. We've got the best fans. We've got the best. Once again, it's, like I said before, deluded. They're a very deluded bunch.
Well, we
all
know
they were doing
yeah,
is trying to get back for the whole business situation. That's all they were trying to do, tit for tat.
I know.
Simple as. That's all it was.
Well, yeah, I suppose so. But the thing is, them saying capital of the northeast or whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, they've only got Eldon Square. We got Jackie White's Market. So I mean, away, man.
We've got some of their airport and all.
Right, listen. Oh yeah, listen. We got 85 likes, which is mint. For a Monday, we've got 159 people on the stream. All we need is 15 of you to hit that thumbs up and get us to 100, and I'll love you forevermore. We're going at half time. We come out like world beaters. I mean, what happened there? That's Reggie put a rocket up their arse or what? Terry?
Right, two things really. Obviously, Eddie Howe's half-time team talk was probably the worst in the world, and ours is the best in the world. So let's face it, we just turned the game around. We used Robbie differently. He was able to really, he's like an old-fashioned striker. They don't have any of those in the Premier League now, so they couldn't deal with him. They didn't know how to deal with them at all. He gets in front of the defender. The defender cannot do anything about it. He holds them off. And if they try and go around him, he kicks them in the face accidentally and then gets them off the pitch. So he could hold that ball up all day long till the cows come home. Other players have got to run in at Robbie, which then opens up the space in the midfield for him to pass the ball back. And it opens like the Red Sea. We had so much space in the midfield with Xhaka and Siddiqui. There was acres of space for them just to play the ball around. We just changed the game around second half. We wanted it more. The players that played for Sunderland yesterday knew exactly what it meant for the team, for the fans, for the city, and they wanted it more. They were, Newcastle were clueless, absolutely clueless. Again, after the game, not one of their players came out, apart from obviously, you got Claire Baldwin, who's obligated in his contract to do interviews after the game. They all ran away, didn't want nothing to do with it because they knew they were absolutely piss poor second half, and we were 100% better. Fantastic team performance.
All right, fair enough. I mean, I must admit at half time, and because I thought we'd not done that bad first half, I'm a firm believer of second half Sunderland, and they're never being the same team twice. So I thought we'd played well. However, I thought we could play better. So I was just hoping that second half Sunderland were going to come out and be the amazing second half Sunderland, which they turned out to be. Dino, do you think Reggie put a rocket up the arse at half time or what?
I think it would have been more the leaders in the group, the Xhakas, because I think I'm sure I've seen Xhaka absolutely going off it on the pitch when some of the passes weren't connecting. It went to Xhaka and he looked like he was losing his head a little bit. So obviously going at half time, rectify. Obviously we made the mistake. Get the lads together and go, look, this game's not done yet because we've got so much more to give. And we've obviously come out, and I honestly think the game changed when that head injury happened. The head injury, and then you had when the injury happened, I think there was some racial abuse given towards Gertruda, which I'm guessing you're going to get on at some point. And I felt like I just lit up a little bit. And then when Fiao came on, I just think Fiao just struggled to deal with Brobby. And Brobby wanted it at his feet, and Brobby was just in everything. Do you know what I mean? And I thought Chris Rigg on the right was doing bits as well. I thought that was probably his best game in a Sunderland shirt in the Premier League, being out on the right. He actually starts to look a little bit of a winger these days. So seeing the improvement in there. But I honestly think that when that injury happened, I didn't think it was a bad injury. I didn't think it was one of them concussion ones. I thought it was just a little flick in the face. But I think it might have knocked him out, so he's had to come off. And I think that's when the game totally changed.
I think the only time that Botman got out of Bobby's back pocket was when he got kicked in the face. That was the only time I thought he handled Botman really well, and he handled Chow even better because he was clueless. They just cannot handle him, simple as. They got no clue how to handle Bobby, and they had no ideas in the second half.
All right, okay. We'll come to you just now, Gary, but Gary, you did mention Idols. And Macam Danny, FTM, says, we loved Idols back in the days. Did the Lager Yard Challenge. They were great. They were great days and Idols, weren't they? Gary?
I told you this before, Phil, but I used to have lads coming up who were Forest supporters, Leeds supporters, and Man United, and they came to our home games so they could come with me to Idols beforehand. That was the pull Idols used to have.
You know what I'll say? Well, I think your mates are perverts then.
That might have had something to do with it.
Right. Gary,
anyway, where were we? What was the question?
Well, second half, we came out a different team. What was the difference? Do you think Reggie gave him a kick up the arse, or did he just say more of the same?
No, I think he's probably said to them, look, you're still in this, and they will perhaps tie a second half. Like I said, I think we have a better midfield than them from the lineups yesterday. That's where our strength was. And I think Zaka got hold of the ball more. Siddiqui made more runs. Siddiqui seemed to be playing a little higher second half. Both Rigans and Talby were excellent. They tucked in when they needed to. So I think we just got hold of the ball and we started to play through them. And what I did think would happen is once they start to get frustrated, the belief drops out of them. They were slaughtered midweek. The belief drops out of them. It drops away from the fans, and all of a sudden, we're on top. And I think that's exactly what happened. We kept it away from our defence, and we know what Robbie can do. And Chior, or whatever they call him, that came on, just could not cope with Robbie. They're marking for both of our goals. If that had been the other way around, I'd be going nuts. Just the amount of chances we had before it went in, and there was nobody near Robbie for the winner. So their defence wasn't great either. That's where we won it. But I do think we got hold of it in midfield the second half, and the likes of Joe Linton, whoever else was in there, just couldn't cope with it. And we also stopped their wingers from playing because they caused us problems first half. But Langa went off. And, the other kid, wherever his name is, the Scouse one, couldn't get over the ball either.
All right. Look, very quickly, I've got to go to an advert because I'm way behind and stuff like that. So we want to give a shout out, of course, to Wolf Competitions, our channel sponsor for the season. Because I've been a little bit drunk today and not with it, I should have done you a new advert. I haven't. So I'm going to have to play an old one. Sorry. Once again, we'd like to say a massive thank you to our channel sponsor for this season, Wolf Competitions. You can check out their site at wolfcompetitions.co.uk. If you haven't been on there yet, you want to check this out. All sorts of prizes you can win. Currently at the moment doing the Halloween chances to win 66 pence to enter that. If you want to get yourself on that. Loads and loads of different competitions. You can win on there. The Premier League wheel. You get yourself on there as well. Check that out. £2 entry. Find yourself, if you land on a certain football team, there's different amounts of money you can win. Superb site. If you've not been on yet, we have loads and loads of winners. Every day we are changing lives, giving money away. Loads of chances to win. You can even go on the £1 million wheel. £1 million. I know it's just madness. Check it out. I just scanning through here. Have a look what there is. wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Check it out. Be a winner. And once again, thanks to Wolf competitions for sponsoring SEFC Fan TV for the whole season. What a set of legends, wolfcompetition.co.uk. There is a link down there somewhere, all right, which will get you on the site. Go and have a look at it, check it out. You could be a winner, is what we say. We've got to give a shout out to Colin Major, who says, I agree with you, Dino. Granite is our Mr. Motivated, apparently. And SJ replies to that saying, Colin, have you had a few winks? Apparently so, maybe doesn't agree. Right, quick question for you then. What I need to say is, oh, by the way, we've got over 100 likes, which means I love you all forevermore. We get the equaliser. Everybody goes absolutely mental in Elysium, including Gary, jumping about like a flipping 18-year-old down there, nearly did his back in. And great taking goal by Talby. However, I don't know if you've watched it. I want to ask you, right, did Diarra foul Trippier before it went in? Or have you not seen it?
I've not watched it back, but there was a lot of pushing. But no, I'm going to say no, because I'm not going to give them an ounce of movement on it.
I've only put it in because I needed an extra question. I know it's a bit weak, but Dino, do you think there was a foul there?
No, but I didn't celebrate anyway because I had a feeling VAR was going to look at something and try and chalk it out. So I didn't celebrate because I was like, someone's going to get ruled out here. It's going to be offside, or someone's going to be pushing, or did Diarra use his arm and it hit his arm when he went to shoot and it hit the keeper? I just wasn't sure, so I didn't celebrate until I knew it was definitely a goal. So I jumped in and I just went, nah, it's going to get chalked off. It's going to get chalked off. So, yeah, I had a bit of a delayed one, to be fair.
Dean Elgar.
This is what VAR does to you. Look at VAR for their second goal. They're all jumping around like idiots and it got chalked out from offside.
I can't believe the goal went in. The whole of Sunderland and everyone was jumping about like flipping idiots. And you're sat there going, I'm not sure. I jumped
out and I went, yes. And then I went, it's going to get chalked off. It's going to get chalked off. I didn't want to get too excited. I was with me mate and his dad, who's Newcastle fans. I didn't want to look like a right tit like them did when theirs got chalked off. So I just waited until it was confirmed, and then I jumped round in the face. Fucking come on.
Dino, I'm disappointed in you. Terry, Selby equalised. Did you see it? Did Diarra bring down Trippier?
I didn't see anything wrong whatsoever. That's why I celebrated like mad, because I just thought it was a goal. I kind of control my emotions anyway, so I can't wait for VAR. If VAR intervenes, then it is what it is. I've already celebrated, but I thought just their keeper and their defenders, like Gary said, they were really poor. Both goals were really poor defended, but that's I think that's just a tired side. We got more energy. We had more about us, and we just wanted it more than they did. And I was over the moon for Talby because he almost scored in the first half.
All right.
You know what though? I feel like we were winning the second ball all the time, and that's what got with that goal. Just winning the second ball, getting on the end of the second ball, just putting it in dangerous positions. Do you know what I mean? And it paid off.
All right.
I thought when they got into positions to threaten us, I thought our defense did really well, and it sort of nullified. Like I say, the only time that they actually scored, which we'll talk about in a minute, was when it was clearly offside and a foul.
Right, okay. Look, Dino, I've got to say, you look a bit miserable. And I've got to ask you, is that because Emma on the chat says, Dino, she's not your friend now?
I'm not her friend because she doesn't even know how to spell my name properly. So,
Dean with an E, Dean Elgar. Right, listen. Right, so we're doing brilliant. We're absolutely battering them second half, which we are, and we're all confident because there's only one team going to score, and it's going to be us, because that's how we were made to feel second half. And then what happens? Typical Sunderland, Newcastle come up and they score a goal. We're all sick as dogs in the club and swearing and stuff like that. And then it turns out that VAR intervene and it's not a goal. Dino, was it a foul on Elbow, or should their goal have stood?
It wasn't a foul. It was offside. I've seen Newcastle fans crying like, "How's that offside?" I've seen that given as goals loads of times. He's standing in an offside position, right in front of the keeper, impeding the keeper. I mean, I don't know how offside you need to be. It doesn't matter if it's by a nose hair or a toenail. If you're offside and you're impeding the keeper from stopping getting the ball, it's offside. But I've seen Newcastle fans literally warn about how it's a conspiracy. It's against the club because we're the richest club in the world and all that stuff. It was offside. Deal with it. It was offside. If it happened with us, you can see he's standing right in front of the keeper, and the keeper falls down. It wasn't a foul because I feel like Elborg just fell to the floor. It wasn't a foul. It was offside. So
all right. Fair play, because when it happened, I thought it was offside, and I'm sure in the club the commentary said it was offside. But I thought, rather than make a fool of myself on this channel tonight, I thought I'll watch Match of the Day. And I wait for Match of the Day for the incident. And they then went, and Match of the Day said the goal's not been given because it's a foul on Elborg. So I thought, oh, that's good, because I'm not going to make a fool of myself now by going on and going, it was offside. But there's Dino pops up, and I'm saying it's a foul, and he's saying it's offside. Terry?
Yeah, it was both. The reason why the goal wouldn't be allowed is because it's offside. But also impedes Elborg, but also he also fouled Elborg, so it was an accumulation of things. But like our goal, like when was it when Robbie fouled, give away a penalty because he pulled the shirt or something? I can't quite remember. Offside didn't count or something. I don't know. But there's always different like sort of things that we go through different processes. I actually thought it was a goal because I didn't say anything because I was just pissed off at the time because I thought they scored, but I was over the moon. And yes. Newcastle fans were upset for it, but it was offside. Same as last week. If Chris Riggs' goal had been onside, we probably would have gone on and beaten Brighton, but it was offside. So we deal with it, we accept it. You have to accept these things and get on with it.
All right, okay. First of all, just very quickly, Emma on the chat says, ooh, Dino, fighting talk. I know when my money's on, and it's not you, Dean. All right. Gary, was it a foul? Was it offside? It wasn't
like Terry at the time. I was just sick, but as soon as I watched it back, it was a foul. No doubt about it. It was a foul, and like Terry says, they'll just have to get over it. I say foul/offside. As soon as you see VAR, and by the way, I'm not even sure it went to VAR, or if it did, Anthony Taylor already made his mind up. So he saw it, he made the decision. End of.
All right, okay, fair enough. All right, look, we're sort of running out of time here anyway. But look, 90th minute, great goal from Robbie, took it well. We went, if you thought we went mental when we equalised, Gary, what was it like in the club when we?
That was absolutely brilliant.
It was absolutely pandemic. If you wasn't there, honestly, the atmosphere was just absolutely tremendous. I'm gutted that I haven't put some footage on for you, but if you want to go onto my TikTok at WePhilly, there is some footage of it on there. Check it out. Absolutely amazing. So he puts the ball away. Great goal. We all go mental. And throughout the game, and I know this is a bugbear of yours, Gary, anyway, right? He got a lot of fouls against him for like pulling shirts. However, there was probably as many fouls on him pulling his shirt or whatever, and it's sort of, it gives as good as he gets sort of thing. But do you think he needs to cut, if he can cut that out of his game, right, then he's just, the chances he's going to have are going to be amazing, Gary?
I just think it's 6 to 1, half a dozen of the other. And there's been certain games, the Arsenal game comes to mind, one or two others, where he's just not been protected by the referee. But I thought Taylor in the main got it right yesterday. There was a bit where he spun the guy in the first half, but that was the one I think you might be thinking about, where he's clearly pulled the shirt down. It's difficult, isn't it? Because they're grappling. They're just trying to get any possible advantage, and VAR picks up on some, it doesn't pick up on others, or they might decide it's too innocuous to have, to intervene with. I just think that's his game. What I was pleased with yesterday is the times he was willing to spin and run, because we know he's a unit. It's bad enough when he's standing up to players, but when he's running at them as well, he just causes absolute chaos. I think he's an absolute top quality guy. I'd love him to bits.
All right, look, we really are out of time. So I don't know if Terry or Dean, you want to comment on that about him cutting that out of his game. If you don't, I'll love you both, because I would like to ask. I want to do quickly the Gertruda thing, the racial abuse thing. I just want your thoughts on it, Terry.
Yeah, well, there's no room for it in the game, is it? Let's face it. They're going to find out who it was. Simple as it. You get a lifetime ban or whatever that is. So it's just really not worth it. It's pathetic to be honest. In this day and age, it's really pathetic. You know, I mean, I've never heard it go on at the Stadium of Light. I've never heard it go on around me anywhere. I just think, it's just, I just don't understand what people think they can get out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I mean, people older than certainly me, Terry, Gary, like back in the 80s, it was rife, and wrongly it was not. I don't want to say acceptable, because it was never acceptable, but it happened. It went on, and
It was normal. It was normal for the time.
In the early 90s, there was loads of stuff going on, and it was like just nobody got wrong, because it was part and parcel of just going to the match. But
yeah,
it's completely changed now.
Yeah, it was unchallenged, and people would take bananas and all sorts, and it was like that. Dino, your thoughts on it?
I don't understand why you'd want to give racist abuse when you've got players on your team who are is the same colour. It makes no sense. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a lot worse in other countries. I mean, I remember when they used to do the monkey chants and stuff like that, and obviously it's calmed down a lot. But you always have the certain individuals who will still go there. Do you know what I mean? And it's unfortunate. It really, really is. Obviously, I hope it doesn't affect Gertruda in the way that it could do. But yeah, it's just silly individuals probably having too much to drink, not happy with the team's performance, and they've just got to go there. They've just got to overstep that line. Do you know what I mean?
Right, okay. I just quickly want to go to the chat, and the comment of the evening by a long way, in my opinion. Coffee Goblin actually says, to be fair, it's not reflective of the Mags. They're proper fans like us, not racist. And I think when we're talking about something like this, I think, to be fair, we'll all slag each other off and stuff like that, but it's a fair comment, that, really. Gary, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I agree with the lads. That I think what gets me is anybody who's willing to give that abuse in front of other people. That kind of worries me a little bit, in terms of at what point do you think that's okay? And are you sat in an area where you think people are going to like that kind of thing? So yeah, they just they need dealing with, and whether it's racial or homophobic or anything like that, in that kind of atmosphere, you just lead yourself into being. Look, bottom line is, even if nothing happens at the time, you're going to have a lot of people thinking, mate, you're a dickhead.
The thing is, as well, how stupid do you have to be to be in a stadium, in a seat? This is not standing in a stadium, in a seat. If you wanted to think that you can shout something like that and not then get found out, you're an idiot, and he'll deserve whatever comes to him. Lifetime ban, deserved, full stop. Right, just very quick, let's make this quick, because I'm over time here, and my beautiful wife is waiting for me in the other room with her lingerie on. I wish, sorry. Man of the match, Dino.
To be fair, I don't actually know. Because I thought everyone was actually really, 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 really good. But if I'm going to give it to anyone, I'm probably going to give it to Brobby, just for the impact he had on the second half.
Right, okay. Gary?
Brobby all day long. Phil, before we go, there's something else I just want to say, but I'll keep it short. But on the man of the match, Brobby, no doubt about it.
Right, okay. Terry?
Yeah, 100% Brobby. I thought he was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, let's make it a foursome. I don't mean like that, obviously. My wife's in the other room. Brobby, yes. Gary, what do you want to say, mate?
I'll do this really quickly. But you're aware of it, and I think Terry's aware of it, because I spoke about it last week. I didn't get a ticket for the match yesterday. I had one. The club took it away. Now, since I've mentioned that, it's kind of rumbled on a little bit. The lad who runs the supporters club I'm a member of has been banned from away games for 3 years. And as well as me, 60 other people didn't get to go to the game yesterday, despite having qualified through points, etc. So there'll be a bit more about it this week. And the reason I'm highlighting it is look out for it. We're trying to give feedback back to the club and say, you've got this wrong, basically. Everybody agrees there should be fair processes, but first of all, they've been overzealous. They've gone way too far. But I think also it brings up issues about, well, how do you ensure fairness in the future, particularly where supporters clubs are involved, because they don't just get tickets, they have to organise travel as well. So, sorry, I don't want to bring the thing down with lots of positives from yesterday, but for some people, that was a definite kick in the balls. So you might see stuff in the Echo and hear it this week and various other places. So, yeah, just like look out for that, because we might ask for a bit of fan support on it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like Gary says, look out for that. Me and Terry have got a bit more details on it, and it's shocking what's gone on, without a doubt. So watch that in the paper, read about it, and of course, unfortunately, Gary was one of the victims of that. So watch that, Terry.
I've got no details on it.
Did he not tell you yesterday? Did you leave too early?
When?
Last week.
I can't remember. I can't remember yesterday. I mean, last week, man.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, sorry,
Terry, I'm looking for your support.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I just thought you meant I know more about what I already know. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, kicked off a bit.
Right. Okay. All right, Terry. Just read the paper, and you'll find out more. Listen, been a great show. Thanks for joining us. You've been absolutely super. Apologies, we weren't here last night, but we were in the town getting absolutely shit-faced.
I was.
Terry?
I was here.
Was you?
Yeah, I did a show.
Oh, mate, hard luck. Because you know what? We were in the town, absolutely keel-eyed. There's flares going everywhere. Emma was in Cooper Rose getting her tits out. All right, it was a horrible sight. Honestly, it really was. But
and I did a show on SFC Fan TV. You didn't even know.
Yeah, listen. What a day, what a night. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We will be back next Sunday, though. What we're going to talk about is anybody's guess, really, because there's no game next week or anything like that. So
I'll probably might not be here next Sunday. That's the only thing.
It's like 3 weeks, you know. It's like 12th of April's the next game.
Well, do you want to have next Sunday off, like?
I won't be available next Sunday. That's the only thing.
You know, right? We're off next Sunday. We'll have a rest. We'll come back the Sunday after. Thanks for joining us, Lee. You've been absolutely superb. Don't forget, we've got to give a shout out to our channel sponsor, wolfcompetitions.co.uk. Check them out. Go on the site. There's a link in the description below. Get on there. You too could be a winner like Dino.
40 quid. Yeah.
Oh,
change my life, that like.
You know what I'm going to do, right? When we're next on, I'm going to bring some badge vouchers with some £10 and £20 vouchers and stuff like that. And we'll give them to people. Best comments and all that. We'll do that. All right. Dino, just about everybody.
Bye everyone. And just remember, visit us, always in our shadow. And just remember, you're still a fucking tin pot club.
Yeah. All right, fair enough. Whatever. Terry, just want to say bye to everybody.
Best international break ever. Goodbye, everybody.
Superb. Enjoying. Oh, international breaks are awful. Gary, say bye to everybody.
Just say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you, Gary. Seeing as you mentioned internationals, I'll quickly do a quick plug that if you want to follow England in the World Cup this summer and you want to watch it live with the great atmosphere, we're showing every England game live with me on stage at Elysium. So join us for that. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You've been absolutely superb. If you're a member of the channel, watch your name in the credits at the end. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.